Hey, how's it going? Today I'm talking about slow runners need smarter plans, not harder plans.
This is Running to the Castle, a podcast for injury-prone Run Disney runners on a journey to running magical miles. Join me, Dr. Allie, as I share the secrets I've gathered as a runner, doctor of physical therapy, and coach. You'll learn the exact ways I get my clients to the castle strong without feeling broken or held together with KT tape as they cross the finish line.
Okay, today I'm talking about something a lot of slow runners feel, but they rarely say out loud. If I'm a slow runner, I need to train harder just to keep up. If you've ever added extra runs, bonus strength sessions, or pushed through pain because you thought you had to make up for your pace, this episode's for you. So there's an unspoken pressure in the running world that slower runners have to do more mileage, more strength, more cross training, just to prove they belong because they don't have the pace that other runners have. But really, slow runners don't need harder plans. They just need smarter ones. Because when you run slower, your long runs take longer. When your long runs take longer, your recovery takes longer. And when you stack more and more miles on that and more workouts on top of that, you're not building strength. You're just layering stress. Most runners I work with aren't undertrained. They're overtrained and under-recovered. I had a client, we'll call her Emily. My God, one of the most committed runners I've ever worked with. Super consistent, always shows up, doing every workout to a T. But when we started training for Dopey, she had one massive fear. What if 20 miles isn't enough? How will I know I can finish the marathon? And I hear this all the time because if you're new to my training plans, I recommend capping your long run when you're doing anything that includes a marathon. I recommend capping that training to 20 miles at the most. And that's because you don't need more miles, which adds more stress to your joints. You can prove that you can finish that race. You can prove that you can finish that marathon by taking by taking that training run and making it the same amount of time that your marathon will take you. Now, Emily had done training plans in the past where it took her 27, 28 miles because the theory is that you hit the wall at where you train, right? That's what the traditional Run Disney training plan, if you read it for the Marathon, Goofy, Dopey, the 2-course challenge, anything, but specifically those 3 because those include the marathon, but they write in that PDF that the whole reason you go longer than race distance, about 2 to 3 weeks before the race, is because you have to train to the mileage that you want to successfully complete. Because their theory is that you hit a wall at the mileage you stop at. So with that theory, if you stop at 20 miles in your training plan for Dopey, you're going to hit a wall at mile 20. And that it's not true. For one, there are other reasons why you could hit a wall. One of the biggest ones is your fueling on race day and your carb load leading up to race day. But also, running more than a marathon 3 weeks out from your marathon is a recipe for disaster because it takes a slow runner, it takes an injury-prone runner, and some even faster runners and not really injury-prone runners, it takes 2 months to recover from a marathon. So how are you going to do on race day if you haven't even fully recovered from your last marathon? It doesn't add up. And then add in the fact that you're injury prone, that makes it even worse. So the way I have my clients in Stronger, Faster, Finisher and anybody I work with one-on-one, the way I have my clients in Stronger, Faster, Finisher do this is they make that 20-mile long run however long it's going to take them on marathon day. So then you know that your body can pull you and push you that whole time that you need to be on your feet. I'd rather hear that you walked all of those miles than you ran really fast and pushed through just so you could get 26.2 miles 3 weeks before the race. And it works. So for Emily, she had plans that, like I said, had her doing more than race distance. And she saw that my plan peaked at 20 miles. She understood what my thought process was, but she didn't believe that it would work for her. We had a big conversation about this in the beginning. She thought maybe at least get to 22, maybe even 24, not go the full marathon distance, but do more. So we compromised, and I built her training plan to include 2 20-mile runs. Not because her body needed both of those runs, but because her brain did. Mentally, she needed that. She needed the confidence to show herself, oh yeah, I can do all of these miles, and they stack on top of each other. But here's the cool part. By the time it got to her 20-mile run, she did so well and recovered so beautifully. She came out feeling so strong and ready that she didn't need that second 20-miler. She asked me if she could cut it lower and do 15 or 10 miles. She didn't need it on purpose because for the first time, she trusted her training, finally believed in herself, and she finished her race exactly the way we planned: strong, steady, and proud. So I have 2 tips for you this week. One is look at your training plan. What is the highest mileage your training plan has you go to? It really should cap out at 20 miles, and I recommend that be 3 to 4 weeks before your marathon. The second thing that you can actually do this week, start tracking how long it takes you to fully recover from your long runs. Are you still sore after 48 hours? Are your weekday runs feeling heavy, like your legs feel like lead? Are you sleeping more, dragging through strength workouts, avoiding stairs, having that feeling like you're an 80-year-old getting off the couch? If the answer is yes to those, it's not a sign you need to push harder through your workouts. It's a sign that something's off, either in your recovery, that your recovery is lagging, or you're pushing too hard for what your body is ready for right now. You don't just want to build weekly mileage, but you also need to match it with recovery timeline, pacing, real life. Smart training isn't about how much you stack, it's about how well your body can absorb it. So if you've been feeling like you have to train harder just because you're slower, take a breath, take a step back, and know this: you don't need to prove anything to anyone by piling on more. You need a plan that's built around you, your pace, your energy, your goals. That's exactly what we do inside Stronger, Faster, Finisher, and it just so happens that the waitlist for that is open now. Go ahead and grab your spot. The link is in the show notes. If you're feeling nervous about whether you can actually cross the finish line at Dopey, if you've been training hard but still wondering, will I really make it? I want you to know there's a better way. Stronger, Faster, Finisher is built for runners just like you, the slow, injury-prone, not really a runner, runners who aren't chasing a podium. You're chasing a personal record in fun. You want those castle photos, those character stops, that pineapple cider at the finish line without feeling broken, defeated, or like you barely survived. Inside Stronger, Faster, Finisher, you'll build your training smarter with the right mileage, the right pacing, and the right recovery. So you don't just survive Dopey. You'll finish it strong, proud, and smiling, exactly the way you imagined. The waitlist is now open. You can grab your spot through the link in the show notes. As always, thanks so much for listening. That's all for now. Talk to you soon.